Good morning, Misfits. It's Friday. It's my favorite day of the week. In case you didn't know, welcome to the LFA family and all of you. I mean, everybody. I don't know where you came from, but there's so many people here. Anyway, for the new people, I am your host, Zach Bonfilio, aka the Misfit Patriot. This is the Daily Breakdown. Let's get to it. Couple quick shout outs. Bad Moon, Fun Mon, C. Michaels. We got Ali Jimenez, Amanda Collins. I think Bumba's in there. Yeah, there's Bumba. All right, so we got some P1s. We got some new people. Let me break down the Daily Breakdown for you. Okay, we have themes of the day on this show, and today is my favorite day of the week. All right, because it's Fan Mail Friday. Let me ask you another question. Do you like games? Because we're going to play the funnest game on the internet. It's called Guess the Wokey. I just made that up. It was terrible. Scratch that. Don't ever, nobody, if you clip that or screen record that, I will find you and give you a wet willy. No, we actually we go on in through my hate mail, and we try to figure out whether or not the sender is on the woke left or the woke right, because horseshoe theory is no longer a theory. Anyway, producer Eli put together this wonderful thumbnail for us today. It's the Fan Mail Friday Fort. We have a little Groiper, a little Nick Fuentes follower here. These would be the woke righties. And obviously the blue-haired liberal on the left. So stay tuned for that. We do that at the end of the show. It's a really good time. Everybody in the chat, they have a blast. Anyway, also on the Daily Breakdown, we break down the news. Hence the Daily Breakdown. I go on the internet, I type in the word news, whatever pops up, we break it down. So let's start with that. From MSN, Trump suddenly cancels press event as Republicans are left stunned. My take. What is this? What is this? Is this like a... Hold on, I guess I'm not watching that for 15 minutes, bro. I bet you this is one of those like fake news things, like just a like a misleading headline. Okay, so Donald Trump abruptly canceled a scheduled press event and signing ceremony just moments before it was set to begin, catching many in Washington by surprise. The video examines the last-minute decision, Trump's explanation for canceling, and the bipartisan housing legislation that was expected to be highlighted. It also explores the political fallout, the reactions from both parties, and why the sudden change became a major story. Is this the I don't care, but is this where he was like, the housing bill? Look, here's the thing, right? Trump is only one man, and I feel like he's the only one doing his job. Does anybody understand how representative government works? Okay, so little civics lesson, in case you guys didn't know. My followers, I'm sure you guys all know this, right? But in representative government, right, which is what we have, it's the best system in the world, in the constitutional republic, right? Your representatives are supposed to do what you want. Okay? Like that's their job. Their job is not to do what they want. Their job is to do what you want. They work for you. They're public servants, right? It's like if you had a servant in your house, like a maid, and they were like, I'm going to clean my house. Wait a minute. No. Um, excuse me, Consuela, you're supposed to clean my house. Yeah, but I want to clean my house. Okay, yeah, but I mean, but I'm paying you to clean my house. Yes, but I clean my house. So what I've noticed is a lot of people in Washington have forgotten that, because the Save America Act is an 80-20 issue, for instance, right? And John Thune, I don't know why he can't get like other senators in his caucus to vote on it, but those senators also, like Tillis, and I mean, like Collins, I guess you could say she lives in a purple district, so she could make an argument, but some of these people, like Mitch McConnell, who's I don't know what I don't know if he's even there. Like he got Control Alt deleted like last year, and ever since then, I'm pretty sure that somebody who's like his aide is voting for him. I digress, though. The people in Congress, they're supposed to do what you want. So if these representatives are not doing that, they're not doing their job, right? But Trump is, right? I would say that there is a high likelihood that Trump probably wanted to go full send on, like, let's say, the war in Iran. I bet you Bridge and Power Plant Day that he canceled. I bet you he canceled it because he was listening to his voters, and a lot of them didn't want to do that. They don't want a boots on the ground conflict, so he didn't do it. All right. There's a lot of things that Trump does that, I bet you he would want to do one thing, but he listens to the will of the people for the most part. For the most part. I know somebody with TDS. No, he doesn't. No, shut up. But I just don't understand how the guy who gives up his salary, right? Donald Trump doesn't take a salary. Tends to, sort of do what, like, for instance, he wasn't that good on 2A. A lot of his, voters were like, you better be better on 2A. He got better on 2A. But I don't understand why he's the one that they blame for everything when it's the people in DC that are supposed to represent their constituents that aren't actually doing their job. So when Trump comes out and says, look, you guys aren't doing your job, I'm going to hold this up. And if you don't pass the 80/20 issue, he's actually working for the people by doing that. Anybody who thinks that like any type of legislation is more important than, securing our elections, you're completely misguided because you can pass all sorts of legislation and you might think it's important. You might be like, this is good, this is good. And then if we don't have secure elections, none of it matters. So, yeah, again, I don't know what that story is. It looks like I think that a lot of this stuff from today, like I said, I don't pick it. I just typed in the word news. All right. Don't get mad at me. I typed in 4 letters. All right. Right up here at the top of the screen. But a lot of this stuff, it looks like it's mostly almost all of it, I guess, is from MSN. So we're just going to be reading fake news today. But I got some special stories that I can throw in here, like the Gavin Newsom thing. Ooh, that's going to be good. All right. So anyway, Mom Donnie responds to, why are they all like this? Okay, you know what in the heck is going on here? Why is my news all videos? Okay, we're gonna try this. Let's go to Brave instead. But I had a choice between Brave and DuckDuckGo, and I was like, I don't really think we need to talk about Taylor Swift. But this one's good. Okay. Khamenei body. What is happening? Khamenei's body is in cold storage as feared besiege mobilize ahead of historic Iran funeral. Oh! I read that completely wrong. Looks like Khamenei's body is in cold storage, and they're gonna have a funeral for him. But it said historic Iran funeral. They're gonna do that. Okay. You know what that would be? The IDF could do something real funny. I'm just saying, I'd do it. I'd be like, I'm gonna take him out twice. Okay, so Dr. Omar Mohammed notes no major world power is sending its top leader caught isolation through pageantry. So let's read this story. This is from Fox News. Tehran is preparing for the July 9th burial of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, more than 4 months after his death, as authorities. He's been in a freezer for 4 months. Oh, oof, that's rough. I mean, what if they took out the power grid? Like, what? What would happen if like they're like, hey guys, power's out. Your dad's thawing. Just make him out of cardboard like the other one. Anyway, authorities mobilizing the besieged militia and mount a massive security operation ahead of what is expected to be a historic turnout. The lengthy delay to the funeral has raised questions about how Khamenei's remains have been preserved. Yeah, that's what I was. You're right about that. I just thought of it in my head. I'm like, I've had some venison in my freezer for like a year, and it's I mean I gotta eat it soon, right? Like 4 months. That's a long time. The Islamic tradition, the length of like Khamenei's remains have been as Islamic tradition analysts say generally calls for a prompt burial and discourages chemical embalming. I don't know if a freezer would be considered chemical embalming, but a quote: the mechanism is almost certainly refrigerated cold storage, not embalming, as Islam bars chemical embalming. Islam bars a lot of stuff that you guys do anyway, so I don't think that. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think that like they have like these like hard lines in the sand on a lot of the things. Like for instance, do you guys know what the number 2 country in the world is for trans surgeries? Like, pop quiz in the chat. Does anybody know what the number 2 country in the world, just behind Thailand, is for trans surgeries? And I'll tell you why, if you guys get it, right? The number Iran, there it is, Bad Moon. Bad Moon's always quick on the trigger there. Yes, it's Iran, right? It's Iran. Now, you're like, wait, what? Wait, what? they they have a lot of. I'm like, yeah, yeah. You know why? Because they think if you get the surgery, then it's not gay. They- that is the weirdest. That is the weirdest loophole I think I have ever heard in my life. It's like, oh, no, it's not gay. We're not allowed to do that. You know, no man on man. Okay, but silicone boobies and we're good. Little wig. That's hilarious. Yep. Fun fact, Google it. Yeah. All right. So Shia law allows delayed burial and preservation by cold in exceptional cases. They just made that up. That's not in it. There's no book for that. There's not like there's no there's no page of the Quran like if you have a freezer. Iran's forensic morgues already hold bodies for months, so 4 months of freezing is not exotic, etc., etc. Okay, so essentially, we have there's a popsicle Ayatollah in a fridge somewhere, and they're gonna have a funeral for him. Okay, great, great. All right. I don't really care about soccer, but some people do. So it looks like Portugal beat Croatia. Okay. Sweet. Great. You know what? The only thing that I do like about the World Cup is how many Europeans it brought to America who had like only heard about America from like leftist media in Europe, where they were like, "It's so dangerous over there," and then they get here, they're like, "Is that a fucking?" Oh, sorry, my bad. I try not to use the naughty language here, but we have a button for it.
I don't know why you gotta do it in front of the kid with the effing. Oh, yeah, I gotta say earmuffs to him. Earmuffs.
Yeah, the people from Europe get here and they're like, "Is that a Buc-ee's? Like, what is beaver nuggets?" No, I'm coming back. Zach, are you pulling my leg? No, I'm not pulling your leg. If that question is in the chat is in reference to Iran's surgeries, then no, I am not pulling your leg. Literally Google it. Echoing? Am I echoing? Oh, the video was echoing? Okay. Yeah, you know what? It's probably I was messing around with some settings and I think I know what that's about. I think I got everything else figured out yesterday, but it's all right. We're not going to be playing that media again. Anyway. Yeah, so yeah, the soccer's okay. I like the show Ted Lasso, but I mean, the only thing I don't like about soccer is like is how like they literally like flop in the most dramatic way possible. Like if they get rubbed by like another player, they'll oh! They make LeBron James look like, you know, not dramatic. But maybe that's part of the sport. It's just not my thing. I also don't like how it's like 0-0. I put money on a game one time and this guy was like, he's like, "Hey man, you know, you lost, you gotta pay up." I go, "I didn't lose, it was 0-0." And the bookie was like, "Yeah, if it's 0-0, you lose." And I was like, "Wait a minute, how did I lose? Nobody lost." I go, "If nobody lost, how did I lose?" And apparently that's like a rule in gambling. And I was like, I'm not paying you." Right? I was like, "I'm not paying you. What are you, crazy?" I think it was like $100 and it was out of principle only. I literally told him, I was like, "No, I'm not. No, it was 0-0. My brain can't process this. I wasn't told before like the game started. This isn't like a roulette wheel where there's zeros on the board and you told me, all right? Like I'm not like, get you next time." All right, next up. All right, next up. We talked about this yesterday, Vatican excommunicating members. All right, I went into that. I'm not going to do it again. Survivor pulled from rubble 8 days after Venezuela. That usually happens in earthquakes. Let's see about this one. U.S. Olympic canoeist. I still can't believe that there is an Olympic sport of canoeing. It's like canoeing. They also have speed walking, so I guess it's not ridiculous. But they what do they do? They literally just canoe. Do they canoe? I don't care. I haven't looked it up, but like, what kind of canoeing is it? Like speed canoeing? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that canoeist, he got arrested and charged with damaging the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Several people have been arrested and cited after President Trump, without evidence, blame vandals for destroying the pool. Anybody notice how the media was covering that like nonstop, like it was a missing white girl? And as soon as they figured out that the reason why the pool was damaged and green was because vandalism, it's like some crazy leftist dumped a bunch of phosphates in it and started slicing it up. But that was wall to wall coverage. You would have thought that somebody escaped from a prison and took a white girl hostage. Like it was every day. I could not turn on the news or open up social media without seeing them talk about the reflecting pool. What happened? Why aren't they? It's oh, I get it. It was just to make Trump look bad. Oh, and it doesn't look, the pool's cleaned up. People aren't doing it anymore because some people are getting arrested. So now it's not really beneficial to the, you don't hate the media enough. You really don't. All right, but let's read this story. U.S. Olympic canoeist. I'm gonna laugh every time I read that. David Davy. Bro, you have a child's name. Just call yourself David. Davy. What are you, 11? Like, this is what Davy. If David, if you were in my Fan Mail Friday fort, that name would be fitting. The Fan Mail Friday fort is for Davy. You're an adult. Your name is David. Davy Hearn was indicted Thursday on a single count of destruction of property after he was accused of causing more than $1,000 worth of damage to the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Hearn was indicted on a felony charge in a D.C. Superior Court. Janine Pirro, the U.S. Attorney for District of Columbia, said the National Park Service employees saw Hearn forcefully and violently pulling up and removing the bottom liner with both hands. Several people have been arrested. And this is I don't know why is that doing that? I don't know why the fake news always does this. Several people have been arrested and cited after President Trump, without evidence, blamed vandals for destroying the pool. Okay, so Trump blamed vandals without evidence before people were arrested for vandalism. I'm pretty sure Trump had. Do you think that they did it to prove him right? Like, what does that even mean? Trump, without evidence, blamed vandals for destroying the pool right before vandals were. Whoever, like, do they write this? Like, do the fake news, they write this and they go, yeah, nobody will figure it out? Or do you think they haven't figured it out? Right? Like, do you think that when they typed that out, they were like, nobody is going to put two and two together, that we're saying Trump didn't have evidence for the thing he predicted, right? Really? How do you fix that? I don't even know how you fix that. It's like, there has to be like I don't know. Like I honestly, like, I'm actually thinking about this in my head right now. It's like, how do you get journalists to tell the truth? I have no idea how to do that. Like, lying's legal, I guess, so I don't know. Like, whatever. So stupid. Pirro alleged that Hearn damaged about 2 square feet of the ceiling from the bottom of the pool. It's really not that much, to be completely honest. Parks employee told Hearn to stop. Pirro said Hearn reacted by shouting at the Parks employee, saying that she cared too much about the reflecting pool. So he told them, "You care too much about this thing. Let me destroy it." And why did she even care? Since it wasn't her pool. That's actually not true. That is not true at all. Like, that is her pool. Like, it's all of our pools because it's a federal structure. It's literally our taxes paid for it. It's ours. You're trying to destroy our stuff. She told you stop. Pirro said the employees described him as rude, belligerent, and disrespectful, etc., etc. Okay. Like I call this the pilot paradox, right? The left would really honestly try to crash a plane that they were on if Trump was the pilot. That's how they think. They're like I want to destroy all of this because I don't like who's in charge of this, right? That's they really true. It's not even that they do hate America, like don't get me wrong, but a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, the left hates America." That's 100% true. It's 100% true. But they hate Donald Trump way more, right? Like they hate him so much that the hatred that they have for America that they used to hide, he brings it out of them, right? So yes, it's true that they hate America, but they hid it really well until that guy showed up. All right. Let's get to this story because it's a doozy. I read this third word completely wrong when I saw this headline. Gav's Alley War Wire. Anybody want to guess what word I saw? Gav's Alley War Wire. With a picture of a female. I was like, whoa, whoa. Guess which? Just in the chat. Guess which letter I thought was missing. So Gavin Newsom had an aide that apparently wore a wire, and they were mic'd up in a corruption probe. So here's the story. Gavin Newsom's appointee wore FBI wire in corruption probe. Oh, Bumba, you got it. Bumba in the chat got it. Oh, that's great. I'm not going to put that on the screen because it's a naughty word, but winky, winky, nod, nod. You got it. Yes, H. H is the letter I thought I read. Okay, so from the New York Post, FBI infiltrated Gavin Newsom's inner circle by convincing governor's ally to wear a wire. Okay. The FBI had a mole inside Gavin Newsom's political orbit before the agency's corruption probe expanded into the governor and his wife, the Post has learned. Democrat insider Alexis Podesta secretly recorded conversations during the criminal probe into Newsom's then chief of staff, Dana Williamson, who pleaded guilty to federal fraud and tax charges in May. The revelation that she was wearing a wire as far back of June 2024 explains why a swath of Sacramento political insiders and lobbyists were stunned to receive FBI letters last fall informing them that their phone calls have been intercepted during the investigation, despite many having little or no connection to Williamson. Alexis wore a wire, Dana did not. Williamson's lawyer and former U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Columbia, which is now investigating the Newsoms. The disclosure comes as Newsom announced last month that he and his wife, whose nonprofit has been burning through money or embezzling money, or laundering money, burning through it. That would mean that they're spending it, and I don't think that they're doing that. I think they're stealing it. That's just my opinion. I think no. As well as members of the governor's inner circle are under federal investigation. Within hours of that announcement, Newsom blasted out an email to raise money for Political Action Committee. Oh, that's a good idea. Hey, we're under investigation for embezzlement. You want to send us some money? It's like I don't know how the Democrats do this, right? Like I really don't know how they do it. It's like you look at like grifters on the internet and you go, how? How do people keep sending money to grifters when it's completely and blatantly obvious that they are grifting? It's like, how? How do they do that? I don't know. And then you think of like, okay, you know those like emails from the Nigerian prince that's like, hey, send me money. You know, they wouldn't send those if somebody didn't fall for it, right? So it's like they don't care how many people know it's a scam. Some people don't. It's like some people are the reason why we have warning labels on things, right? It's like don't iron your shirt while wearing it, right? Like stuff like that. Those people exist. They're in the world. So that's just just my theory. All right, back to this story. Um, Assembly member Josh Hoover told the Post that he was among those to receive one of the letters, though he had never spoken to Williamson or Podesta. A quote, a lot of people are receiving letters essentially informing us that there were certain periods of time where the FBI was given access to follow phone calls. I don't know how the investigations work, but it sounds like they cast a pretty broad net. Separate source with knowledge said they knew of 4 Sacramento insiders who are also receiving FBI notifications. One of the recipients told the source, "Dude, I got this effing letter. I never even met with Dana Williamson." All right, so essentially, so like last month or so, like month or two ago, when Gavin Newsom was like, "Oh, Donald Trump's investigating me," it's like, he was actually investigating that lady, and like, and if, then while they were doing that, it was like, hey, they're also doing some weird stuff. They're also doing some shady stuff. Governor publicly accused President Trump of directing the Justice Department to investigate him as political retaliation ahead of a possible 2028 Yeah. Yeah. Wait a minute. Why do they have a problem with this? Right? Like this is the hilarious part of this whole thing, right? They tried to throw Donald Trump in jail, right? They threw everything at him, right? And then like when it didn't work, they basically now they're going like, I can't believe I can't believe Donald Trump is retaliating, bro. Does anybody here think that that's not okay, right? It's like, okay, so the government was quite literally weaponized against you by basically like a whole bunch of people, right? They were either complicit with it, or they were in on it, or they were championing it, they were cheering it on, right? And then you're now in control of the government, right? Do you not go after those people? Because like I'm not saying make up crimes. I'm not saying like, I'm not saying like lawfare, technically not lawfare. But I mean like, hey, I have firsthand knowledge that you guys are corrupt and criminal. Like, I have firsthand knowledge because you tried to do. Yeah, I'm gonna look into every one of you. Absolutely. It's like, if you see a guy that's got like handing a baggie full of white powder to another guy, right? It's like, do you go up to him and be like, "Hey, man, I'm not going to do anything because, like I don't want to weaponize the government." No, you have a reasonable suspicion that these people should be investigated. Absolutely. Go after all of them. If I was in charge, oh man, I don't think, this is why I shouldn't be president. If I was in charge, this is why I shouldn't be in any position of power at all. I would abuse the heck out of it. I would definitely, like, I would lock every one of them up and then I'd be like, yeah, just lock them up. I'd be like, they can get a trial, like, remove their bail. Oh, I should never have power. But yeah, so look, basically long story short, we're going to see what happens. I don't know. What the funny thing is? It's like there's all those people that are like the nothing is happening people. They're like, Donald Trump isn't arresting anybody. Now he's like going after people. He's got like John Bolton. He's got investigations into like several high profile people. But those people actually want lawfare. They want like perp walks, and they want him to go arrest Hillary Clinton without evidence, and throw Barack Obama in jail without evidence. This was an investigation where they were going after this other woman for fraud, and then while they were there, they cast a little wide net over the circle, and they found potential crimes from Newsom's wife, and now they're following it up. So, I mean, I think that's a fair use of the justice system, if you ask me. Oh. All right. Now, speaking of fake news, okay, this headline If you read this headline, you're probably going to go, whoa, right? There were so many people that just went, oh my God, what? What? Here's the headline from the New York Post, right? Secret Service member was Googling rooftop location of Trump's would-be assassin when shots rang out in Butler. DHS report. So New York Post is infamous for clickbait. They've been doing it way too much. It's annoying actually. Like sometimes they have good stories, but a lot of their stuff is just misleading headlines, clickbait, so that you click on it. And we're gonna click on it, right? I don't want to give them what they want, but so I can explain it and expose how they're manipulating you. If you read this, you would think that a Secret Service member was Googling the rooftop location of Trump's assassin before he was on the roof. That's not true, right? It's basically like in the first paragraph, right? A Secret Service counter drone operator futilely searched the internet for the location of the President Trump's would-be assassin as the shots rang out, right? So they were looking for where the shots were coming from, right? So it's like, I don't know why. I don't know why they're using Google. It wasn't that big of a place. They could just use their eyes. But this is not like some conspiracy, like confirmation. It's literally just while the shots were ringing out, and the guy was like, "Where is that rooftop? Hey Siri." So it's not. This isn't anything crazy. The report concluded Secret Service missed multiple opportunities to detect, prevent, and disrupt deranged gunman Thomas Crooks. Now that's true. And by the way, for the record, I think this actually was some type of, how do I put this? I think there was some really strange stuff going on with this particular shooting, right? Because even right after this happened, it didn't really make sense, right? It didn't make sense how he got on the roof. Didn't make sense how he took that shot from that rifle. I personally think that there were multiple. There were two shooters. I believe there were multiple shooters. I believe he was the patsy. And I did an extensive episode on this with all my reasonings why, and I'm not going to go through it again. But essentially, when you break down the audio of the actual shots that are fired, they sound like they come from two different weapons. The Secret Service had their gun on that guy in seconds. It's just a lot of weird stuff, right? The fact that he got on the roof without anybody noticing, it seems weird, right? I'm also okay with it not being weird. I'm not crazy. I'm not like this, I'm not like Ian Carroll. I'm not going to develop a lazy eye from looking at like two different screens for the rest of my life, like going down rabbit holes. I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm just saying I think it looks weird. However, it could just be exactly what they said it was, right? It could just be crazy guy goes on a roof, takes a shot at Trump, misses. Could be that too, right? But it is a little, it's just like a little, it's a little strange that they're bringing this back up right now, right? It's like, why are they doing this? Because like I think that there's a difference between a conspiracy theory and a psyop, and I think that a lot of people don't realize the difference between the two, right? Like a conspiracy theory, it's like a little crazy, where it's like I have a theory about a conspiracy, and for the most part, it's like it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But psyop is just like it's just the fake news, propaganda, right? Narratives, um, racial division, right? Like psyops are more like a behavioral, like an operation that's sort of like long game or just generic. And I think that we can all agree that that happens, right? Like you have propaganda, you have racial division, stoking the flames, keeping people divided, divide and conquer, chaos theory, et cetera, et cetera. Those are psyops. Conspiracy theories are like aliens and stuff. Like I don't care about all that. I think that that's a little bit. I think it's brain rot. So, but anyway, yeah. So this isn't really that big of a story. It's just clickbait. But I wanted to cover it so that if anybody saw that article, they were fully informed. Okay. one more thing to do here. I said I'm going to do this every day, and I think that let's actually lead up into this. Okay. From Mike Lee. All right. We survived the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812 and the Civil War, World War One, World War II, and many other conflicts. We will survive the deadly elixir of open borders, fraud-ridden welfare systems, non-citizens voting, and unrestricted birthright citizenship. He says, will we survive? And puts a question mark at it. I'm saying we will survive. We will survive this, right? Um, there's somebody, actually, I have one more quick thing I think I want to jump. I want to, yeah, here, right here. What people are freaking out about with the rise of like the democratic socialists or communists or whatever getting into power, they're forgetting one thing. This situation is very different from other situations where socialism and communism has been implemented, right? In the United States of America, because the founding fathers foresaw situations like this, right? They had local, like state governments are kind of separate. They have their own, each state has their own constitution. If people don't like one state, they can move to another state. So, with these blue states, these deep blue districts um, that are electing these crazy socialists, right? They're going to probably destroy their cities. They're going to make life very bad for the people in those cities, right? But they cannot do a damn thing to stop those people from leaving, right? There are 49 other states. You can pick, right? I did it. And I'm saying, I practice what I preach, okay? So I'm saying if you live in one of these deep blue um, shit holes, right? Move. I lived in Massachusetts. I grew up in Boston. I loved it. But it was becoming unlivable. The people there were awful, the taxes, the gas, the cost of living, etc. I was paying like $1,800 a month for a like 650 square foot apartment in Quincy, which is 30 minutes outside the city. That was in 2017. I'm paying less than that now for a two-bedroom apartment overlooking a pool with two waterfalls in San Antonio. So it's better, right? It's better. I can buy guns. I do buy guns, a lot of them. You should too. But you can leave. And if you leave and when you leave, right, they can't do anything to you anymore, right? If I owed taxes right now in Massachusetts, if they were like, you owe us money, I'd be like, screw. I'd be like, I don't have to pay them. I'm not going back. Right? It's like they don't have jurisdiction over me. But I'm not saying like that's. I'm just saying like they you don't need to fund your own destruction. You can move. I know it's hard to move. It's hard for me to move. But I'm saying like they won't be able to destroy America. They will definitely be able to destroy the cities. And when that happens, we're going to have this thing called contrast, right? There's going to be somebody living in New York City, right, who's stepping over homeless people and got, mugged for the 15th time, and they're going to have like a sister or a cousin or a best friend that lives in like, Tennessee or Texas or something like that. And they're going to be on the phone. They're going to be like, "Hey, like, why don't you leave?" Right? It's like, that doesn't happen to me. There will be a mass exodus, right? And then this whole experiment will fail. But I say in this post, I go, it's going to be so bad when this whole thing comes crashing down. Because here's the thing about socialism, it works in the beginning, right? It's like, I think was it Margaret Thatcher who said socialism great until you run out of other people's money. Like this I don't know if this is even a real poll, right? But it says Mamdani has become the most popular leader in the United States, beating Donald Trump. Cool, don't care. He's going to destroy New York, and he's going to be a cautionary tale, right? See, like that's what I wrote here. There are 49 other states, and like I called this. I said that this was going to happen, right? I said when he was running against Cuomo, maybe it's better if he wins, right? Because these blue, like, holes, they will never change until they hit bottom. And they're not going to hit bottom with the status quo. They're not going to hit bottom with a Cuomo or like, I don't know, like a Karen Bass or something like that, they're not going to hit bottom. They're going to they need the extremists to take over their party so that the whole ship can go down. We just need to worry about our party. We need to learn from them, keep the extremists out of our tent, and there's going to be that contrast, and people will look to us, and there will be a Reagan style, era of American prosperity for decades. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that you should cheer on the death. I'm like, it's already done. It's a terminal case, right? The only thing you would be doing by staying in the city and paying taxes to these people is you'd be prolonging the inevitable. The house of cards is going to fall down, but it's not going to destroy America. It's going to destroy New York. It's going to. This isn't a guess. It's going to. All right. However, there's also this worry that people have because they're worried about fraud, they're worried about cheating, they're worried about, if the Save America Act doesn't get passed, are we going to win? What happens if they do take power? Well, then that's bad, right? If they take power, that's really bad because they'll nuke the filibuster. So how do we fix this? I said I was going to tell you about this every day, right? I started a group. The group is called Misfits Midterm Cheat Sheet. You can go on my Beacons link. It's right under me. The website's up there. It's sway.co/misfits. You join this group, and you can see this map here, right? This is a map of the US. These are all the people in this group. I can see where you are. I can message you. I can give you resources on how to get out the vote in your district, in your state, in your area. Tell you go. Facebook is more local. Facebook is more like high school friends. Tell you post on Facebook. Give you the website for the people that are running in your state. And yesterday, I went and I updated this to include all 18 toss-up races. Okay, so now we have Jay Feely on here. Mike right here. Show all guides. Jennifer Kiggins. So this one right here, I go. Recommendations are all 3 candidates who qualified. This is a primary. These are the 3 that are qualified. The list has more than them on there, and some of them aren't. They dropped out or whatever. But go to sway.co/misfits. Join this group, and we need to now worry about get out the vote too big to rig. We need to stop worrying, not stop worrying, but we need to stop banking on the Save America Act. We need to stop banking on the Supreme Court birthright citizenship. We need to stop banking on, some making the 2026 midterms fair. We just need to accept that they're not going to be fair, right? But neither was the 2024 presidential election, and we won. This is how we won. We got motivated, we got out the vote, we made it too big to rig. So if you guys really take this seriously, the rise in the Democrat socialists or whatever, like the rise in the Communist Party that's in the party, it will be the death of the Democrat Party. It will help us if we stay in power. If we don't, if we lose the next election or the one after that, I actually will start to be really worried about this country. I will be very worried. I actually will really truly think that there might not be any going back. So take it seriously and get out the vote. There's also active vote. I've already showed you guys about these, right? I got the midterm cheat sheet. That's going to be updated soon. Active vote and Sway. Sway, I think, is the most important one right now. We got to build this from 60 voters. Just started it last week. We need hundreds. We need hundreds because hundreds can affect thousands and thousands can affect elections. All right. It's time for my favorite part of my favorite day of the week. Fan Mail Friday. Okay, so if you're new here, if you stuck around, right, I think we got some Bongino Army people because he's off. I know that they come over here to LFA because Sean's guest hosted. I'm really so proud of that dude and so happy for him. Love Bongino. Been watching him for years. But if this is your first time seeing it, right, this might be silly, but it's a way to end the week on like a fun little note, right? We play this game called Fan Mail Friday, where we guess whether or not the person in my inbox that is sending me hate mail, and there are a lot of them, are on the right or the left, right? Because now there's this rise in the woke right, and they act just like the left. They send you a bunch of mean words, they say a bunch of mean things, and we laugh at them. So last week, the woke left looks like it won 3-2. So we're going to reset 0-0. All right, so in the chat, some of you guys already know what you're about to do. I want you to tell me whether or not you think S22 is on the right or the left. The message is nonce, the misfit pedo. Okay. Profile picture is some dude with a bulge throwing his bulge in our face. Seems a little gee. All right, guys, right or left? Now you go. In about 30 seconds, I'm going to reveal the clue that will tell us whether or not this is a woke righty or a woke lefty. You can type in right, left, W, R, W, L, L, R. I don't care how you do it, right? We're not keeping score for you. We're just keeping score for the final woke bulge. Woke bulge. All right, so left, woke left, Bad Mooner Kamala. Woke right, woke left, left, righty righty, woke left. The funnest part of this game is people every week. It's not obvious because they're all the same. All right, woke left, right, left, left. Looks like the left is edging out. So it looks like the chat is edging on left. Yep, left, left. Okay, definitely left. All right, let's see if the chat's right. Looks like the chat is guessing left. What is the clue from Nunce the Misfit Pedo S? Reposted Johnny UTD. These filthy Zionists just casually kidnapping a 6-year-old. So for those of you that don't know, Johnny, I did a debate with him. He is a radical leftist. In this guy, S, in his profile, it was Free Palestine. So that is obviously a woke lefty. All right. I think that most people in the UK or like in that European thing, I think not a lot of righties. And I don't think even a lot of woke righties. I think it's like just lefties and I don't know, moderate lefties. All right, next up, contestant number 2. This goes to best of 5, by the way. We have 5 contestants for this week. All right, from Niles Jarvis at NLSJRVS. All right. How old was the kid? Do you repent in the name of Jesus? I don't know what the kid is in reference to. Like, how old was the kid? Is he trying to call me like a pedo? Is he saying, I don't know. That's a weird thing to say, right? Like, because everybody calls me a pedo. It's just the new thing they do, right? And like Grok had a hallucination that called me. I was like, we're gonna be doing something about that. Stay tuned for that. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna take a while, but that will not go unpunished for those that if you know, you know. Okay. So, woke left or woke right? Looks like people are saying left, right, question mark. Here's the profile picture. Probably not him. Woke right, religious hypocrite. Okay. Right, he thinks you're a pedo. That's true. Right, I'm sticking with righty. Left, right, woke right, woke right, woke right, woke right. All right, looks like woke right is edging out. Let's find out. All right, what is the clue for Niles Jarvis? Okay. Hinson says Supreme Court got it wrong on birthright citizenship. Crypto X replies, yes, they did. Niles Jarvis writes, you know, like Constitution? Essentially arguing for birthright citizenship, which means it's a lefty. Ooh. I think you guys got that one wrong. All right, here's an easy one. This one's a layup, right? Based on the username. Wiener Groiper. Wiener Groiper writes, did the Jewish wieners taste like corned beef, buddy? Okay. Why do they want to know what wieners taste like? So for those of you that don't know, the Groipers are the name for the Nick Fuentes followers. So this one is pretty much A freebie. We get these sometimes. That is a woke righty. Wiener Groiper, statistician. I thought that said Satanist. Statistician, father of three, Catholic, America first. Should be embarrassed. If I was a father of three, I wouldn't be here. Like, I don't think that I could do this and look at my kids like with like I couldn't be like, I'm the example. As soon as I have kids, I'm retiring from this. Until they get old enough to have internet, of course. You know, you got me for a while. All right. Next up. All right, so 2-1. Next contestant on Fan Mail Friday. Kill yourself, ASAP. Kill yourself ASAP, disgusting pedophile. This is from Hog Attack Survivor at 100 feral hogs. Okay. So telling me to kill myself, calling me a pedophile. It's a tough one. Profile picture. I think that's Joe Biden. Is that Joe Biden? Pretty sure it's Joe Biden. It looks like Joe Biden. So that might be a clue, right? What do we think, guys? What do we think? Hog Attack Survivor telling me to kill myself and calling me a disgusting pedophile. I believe the profile picture is a close-up of Joe Biden's eyes. What are we thinking? Left, 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 woke right. Eileen's giving a Zach, you crack us up. That's what I'm saying. This is the funnest game. I love this game. This is the best way to end the week. Going with loony lefty, left, woke left, leftist. Everyone thinks left. Okay, okay. Looks like sleepy. Okay, woke left, right, woke right. All right, some woke righties. I think left is definitely taking the lead. Let's find out. What is the clue for Hog Attack Survivor? Colorado Democratic Socialist candidate called 9/11 terror attacks inevitable due to U.S. foreign policy. Hog Attack Survivor says she's right. Wow. Wow. That's definitely a lefty. That's definitely a lefty. Wow. Colorado Democrat Socialist candidate said the terror attacks are inevitable due to U.S. foreign policy. Ugh. Dude, I really at this point, if I looked outside and saw the asteroid, I'd be like, yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call. You said you wouldn't flood us again. You didn't say anything about a big rock. All right. Oh yeah. Okay, final contestant. So the left has won Fan Mail Friday this week. They won Fan Mail Friday last week, right? We got 2 in a row. Good little winning streak for the left. They were on a losing streak for a while, so it's nice to see them back. But let's see if the woke right wants to put any more points on the board, because the overall total score does work out in the long-term bracket. Whatever. By the way, when I read these, like, I don't really read them, like I barely read them. So when I'm reading them now, I forgot what these were about, right? So like I'm genuinely surprised. Whatever Israel has on you must be bad. For your own sake, please stop posting. I know they probably won't let you because they will release the blackmail, but you need to call a spade a spade. Hold Christ close and just race for the impact and stand your ground against these demons. It's time. This is from Italian Terror. Italian verified account. Italian Terror. Apparently, I am being blackmailed by Israel, and I am only doing this because I don't want them to release whatever they have on me. All right. Excuse me, just looking for some Egyptian planes out there. No, they're not there. All right, what do you think, guys? Woke right, woke left? Yeah, looks like everybody's saying woke right. A profile picture of a hawk with an arrow through it? I think that's what that is. Yeah, everybody's saying woke right because it's so obvious. Okay. I want to read this one more time. Whatever Israel has on you must be bad. For your own sake, please stop posting. I know they probably won't let you because they will release the blackmail, but you need to call spade a spade. Dude, I mean, like, all right. I don't even, I can't. All right, well, let's find out if we're all right. All right. This is this is a photo reposted from Italian of the female Supreme Court justices. It says Jew, DEI, Jew, traitor, and the equivalent to black people talking on the speakerphone in public. I think that that is definitely a woke righty. Okay, 3-2, another close week, right? So it's weird, right? Because I bet you if we went back like 4 years, maybe 5 years, if we did this exact same show, let's say 5 years ago, right? It would be 4-1, maybe 4-0 every single week. Every week it would be left, left, left. Left would just dominate, right? But almost every week it's either close, it's either like 3-2, or the woke right will like blow out the left. Like we've only had a few blowouts where it was like 5-0, and it's the right. And that's the whole point of doing this, right? It's to make a fun game out of horseshoe theory and like visualize it and like subliminally implant it in your mind that these people not only exist, right, but they're the same. They're they don't just do this to me. I'm just the only person that's made a game out of it, right? This is so many people's inboxes. So many people get this stuff on a daily basis. These are life losers that sit glued to their phone, right? Or on their computer, and they just type mean words at people. That's all they do all day. They have no purpose in life. That is their purpose in life. And if you thought that if you thought that that was a left thing, like the only people that do that were on the left, right? You'd be right if you said that 10 years ago. But no, it's because the reactionary right, which are essentially the woke right, they're instead of instead of learning from them, like instead of being like, okay, I don't like what they're doing, so I'm not gonna do it, right? They were like, oh yeah, it looks like that actually works really good. I'm gonna try it. Right? It's like, no, that's stupid. That's not a good idea at all. Like, because now you're making us look bad. So let's make sure that we keep everything fun this weekend. It is the 4th of July weekend. It is America's 250th birthday. I'm gonna be hanging out with some friends, watching the fireworks, barbecuing. I hope you're doing the same. And really enjoy yourselves, guys, because we should be celebrating this weekend, right? Don't doom or gloom or black pill or anything like that. Have fun because this is the greatest country in the world. It is the best place to live on earth, and we are going to be fine. Just head in the game. All right. That's 9 o'clock. Sean Farish is coming up next. Great Guy Gary, Bad Moon, Kit Kat, Mar, Amanda Collins, 12 GG. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. And don't blow your hand up. All right? Do not do that. Fireworks are dangerous. See you later.